everyone, PolishLynx here, and we are going with Chapter 7 of Narcissu, Side Second. It's the title of punishment. The next day, today, we ate our lunch in a different place. In the deserted lounge, while watching the daytime news impersonally playing on the television. We ate. These croquettes sure are good. Today, again, Himeko-san seemed to want the dishes in my lunch. I also knew that hospital food was bad. So on top of the table, my lunch and Himeko-san's hospital meal were spread out and the two of us ate together. Hey, I want a vegetable croquette next. On the right edge. Okay, thanks, Professor Setsumi. I'm not going to tell you anymore. It's a joke. As we made these little exchanges around when my today's lunch came to an end. Hey, I have been wondering from before. Is it that you don't like them? As she spoke, she pointed at the fries in the lunchbox. In the end, didn't I also eat them all myself yesterday? I don't like them. Then why are they in there? How should I answer? I debated a bit and decided to tell the truth. Because I'm thought to like them, mother. Looks like you've got it hard too. Probably even just that my meaning went through. It was like before with the clothes. For some reason, Himeko-san seemed to see through to the heart of things. However, the words that Himeko-san spoke next was clearly in a different tone of voice. But that's not kindness, you know. Well, it's probably something you can't understand. If you're trying to be considerate of people, that's a big mistake. Mistake? Not kindness? At the very least, those words weren't directed at my mother, but probably towards me. Right and wrong. If it's that, I understand, even I don't think not saying how I really feel is right. Then, what is that revealing the truth was kindness? To say what mother had gone through for my sake was something I actually hated. Would that be kindness? Afterwards, I was asked to go shopping at the store for Himeko-san. As I left the elevator on the 7th floor and was again headed to the lounge. In the hallway just before the lounge, I saw Himeko-san talking to someone. I was sure that person was the helper that had spoken to me the other day. I thought about going up and speaking to them as the two of them spoke, but for some reason, sensing that it wasn't that kind of atmosphere. Sorry, I couldn't help but watch from afar. Look, today's fourth drip. You still haven't had it. I know, I said I was going back now. And also, about how we'll be bathing this afternoon. Chihiro, did you think I didn't know? I didn't mean that. So there's no need for unnecessary consideration. Go back to your own assignment. And the unknown One-san left like that. Without a doubt, that was the person who spoke to me the other day. Say, the person just now was just a helper. An answer as if she were pushing something aside. To me, from the explanation I heard about the helpers on the 7th floor, I thought they were admirable. And yet, looking at Himeko-san, it didn't seem like she felt that way. Especially with the person just now, I felt she had even been cold. Perhaps seeing that I wanted to say something, Himeko-san entered the lounge before us. And sitting in a sofa, she offered the chair facing her. You see, I once was a helper. Here? So that was someone I knew. That was unexpected. For me, the bright cherry Himeko-san and the image of a helper just wouldn't connect. At the least, my image of the helpers on the 7th floor was that they were always calm and collected. But, if I thought about it, a part of it did fit. Patients on the 7th floor, unlike patients of the other wards, were in a way given freedom. However, even among them, I had thought Himeko-san was special. For some reason, it felt as if she were allowed to get away with even more. The questions I had before about planting in the garden without permission, and how she said she didn't need an assigned helper. How she would randomly give friendly notes to doctors and nurses. Surely, because she had been a helper before in the hospital, she had probably been allowed more. Say, can I ask one question? Why were you a helper? This time I tried voicing my next question. Even if it were true that Himeko-san had been previously a helper, why should work as one? I couldn't imagine. At the least, from what I knew about Himeko-san, I thought she would be indifferent to something like volunteering or being a helper. Well, my family is Catholic. Catholic? Yeah, my parents also did it too, quite often or participate in such public welfare activities. That was an even more unexpected answer. Of course, I myself knew absolutely nothing about Christians or religious matters. But even then, compared to the helper just before, I felt that religion was even farther from my image of Himeko-san. And well, this place is a Christian hospital, right? That I know. So, even more, so, you see. She spoke as if that were the answer to everything. Certainly I hadn't really considered it up until now. But now that she mentioned it, I did occasionally see people who looked like breasts and sisters. But still, for us normal sick people, there were few things that we noticed about the kind of hospital it was. Instead of those details, whether there was specialization in surgery or whether there was a famous internist present, from those a hospital would be chosen. However, for the people who worked there was probably a huge difference. But well, from the start, I was a fake Catholic. Really? Yeah, by chance. My house was next to a church. That's all. Himeko-san answered in her usual chair way. Whether those words were the truth or a lie, I didn't know. However, just that time her gaze shifted to the window. In that profile that I couldn't see clearly, I thought there was some denial of those words. But I certainly didn't think I'd come around and be admitted in the 7th floor myself. Maybe I really am being punished. When the long summer day slowly ended. Unusually, father was home early, so today our family of 3 ate dinner together. Since we moved, his commute lengthened and it has been a while since the 3 of us gathered around the dinner table like this. Oh, made a friend? Yeah, that's why Reg is going out every day. Isn't that great, Setsumi? And by making a friend, father also became happy. I'm pretty sure that because my health had been well lately, father was even more pleased. Before the 3 of us would always eat dinner together. But now, because he comes home late, mother and I together was normal. There were also times when she would come home late from her part-time job and I would eat alone. That was the norm now. Since that day, 3 years ago, days of going in and out of hospitals, Himeko-san said that she herself was being punished. Then, did I also do something wrong and was being punished? Just what kind of wrong did I commit? And the one who's being punished? Was it myself or my parents? Or perhaps both? Is something wrong, Setsumi? Nothing.
なんでもない。
Opening the window, even in such stuffy heat, the night breeze felt nice. There were many things I didn't understand. But if we were being punished, then who is doing the punishing? And if I said I'm sorry to that person, would we be forgiven? I, who'd silently eat fries, had also been called unkind. And Himeko-san for some reason came close to me. Until now, outside of family, others have done the reverse and avoided me. I'm sure that's true for her also. It was because there was no one else, so probably it was because she was bored. Wow, that was fast. Chapter 8 Pink Manicure, let's start it right now. Burning sunlight and the pouring of cicada cries. Pitch black shadows were right underfoot. After having overslept, I was now headed to the usual place. Morning, you're here late today. Morning.
おはよう。
Getting off the elevator, I exchanged light greetings with a nurse I became acquainted with. By now, even if I entered the 7th floor, no one challenged me. Just maybe, at this rate, I, too, might become a person of this place. When the thought suddenly came, I was afraid. Continuing down the wide hall, I headed to the now familiar room of Himeko-san. I'm coming in. And when I went to Himeko-san, who had probably been waiting, books. Perhaps. Spread atop the bed, thin volumes that Himeko-san gazed at. What those were I didn't know, but that face was different from her usual bright expression. Say, what are you looking at?
何見てるの？地図よ。
Maps.
地図。
Maps? We adjusted us where her gaze once again returned to the pages. There was an expression I never saw before, a lonely and yet also somehow calm expression.
面
It's
白い。
interesting,
別
not
に
particularly.
つま
It's
らないわ。
boring. Her words said so, but her face wouldn't turn this way. And even though she said it was boring, she continued staring with a lonely gaze. Then, you don't have to look. Even as I thought that, I guessed along with her. There was nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Spread atop the bed, the maps of some place. On them were a number of large highways and roads, places with unfamiliar names. It felt like a slight to Himeko-san who continued gazing, but for me, I couldn't find enjoyment in doing this.
退屈で
It
しょ？
must be boring. It's fine. Even I think it's boring.
私だってつまらないと思うもの。じゃあ、
Then,
どう
why
して見
look?
てるの？
Indeed. Why
どう
look?
してだろうね。
Indeed. Even as she answered with that, Himeko-san continued to gaze. If Himeko-san herself didn't know the reason, then there was no way I could understand. While thinking that, and just when I thought she would remain that way for a while, she slowly murmured,
でも
"But you
ね、
know,
まだあなたには
this
必要
isn't
ないんだ
something
よ。
you need yet.
それ
That
は
means someday
いつか必要になるってこと。
who knows? That
それも
also
あなた
might
次第
depend
か
on
しら。
you." Occasionally, Himeko-san spoke as if she could see clear to my thoughts. There were also times when she would suddenly toss out words like Zen riddles. What those were aiming at, I didn't know. But for some reason, often I would wind up nodding.
ね
Hey,
え、説明してた？
did you know?
もし
If there were a place
ど
that you
こか
wanted
行
to
きたい
go
場所があっ
to,
たとして、どれだけ
how
の予
much of
算が
a
あれば
budget
足
do
り
you
ると
think
思
would
う？
be enough?
わか
I
ら
don't
ないわ。
know. At that sudden question, I answered honestly, I had never thought about such a thing.
私の計
According to
算に
my
よるとね、
calculations,
5万円よ。
50,000 yens.
そん
That
なに。
much? No, you
そう考
shouldn't
え
think
ちゃダ
that.
メよ。
saying it the other way.
それだ
With
けあれ
only
ば
that much, you
日
could
本
go
中どこだって
anywhere
行けるってこ
in
とよ。
Japan. Alright, so actually that's the riddle from the first part. We know why she actually had that amount of money. Let's end this here. We'll know more about that probably in the next episode. So see ya, bye.